To replace your gun tubing, you'll need to start by opening the gun. You'll find screws in each hole. For the handle, you may encounter either Allen key screws or star screws. In my case, I have Allen key screws. Once the screws are removed, you can lift the handle. Next, cut the tie wrap that holds the wires. Now, you need to disconnect the electrical connector. Start by using a pair of cutting pliers to remove the shrink tubing. Once the shrink tubing is removed, you can disconnect the connector. To do this, press the small tab and pull. After disconnecting the connector, set the electrical parts aside along with the screws. Now, remove the shrink tubing from the wires. I use an X-Acto knife, extending the blade as little as possible, and carefully cut between the wires. Check to ensure no wires are damaged while cutting. Next, unscrew the component holding the tubing in place. Now, slide on the new shrink tubing. Don't forget the larger shrink tubing, it should go on first. Apply Teflon tape to the threads. Always wrap the tape in the direction you will be screwing the parts together. Wrap the Teflon tape about 4 to 5 times around the threads. Take the new component and screw it in place. Ensuring that the electrical cable is positioned to exit at the back of the gun. Continue screwing to eliminate any excess space and ensure a tight fit. Once aligned, ensure the electrical cable exits neatly at the back of the gun so it fits properly in its case. Reposition the gun tubing inside the casing to ensure it fits properly. In the event the gun is slightly tilted upwards, adjust it to bring it back down. Place the cable securely, ensuring that the tie wrap already installed on it is positioned inside the gun casing. This will prevent the cable from moving. Slide the smaller shrink tubing included in the kit over the electrical cable and reconnect the connector. Secure the electrical cable with another tie wrap to manage any excess cable. Heat the shrink tubing to shrink it into place. Make sure the connector fits snugly into its position and that the wires are properly tucked underneath. avoiding interference with the screw holes or tubing. Reattach the quick connect fitting and remember to apply Teflon tape. Tighten it securely. Check the alignment of the tubing. If the tubes are misaligned or loose, realign them so they are straight. Misalignment will become apparent when placing the gun back in its holder. Once aligned, ensure the gun sits properly in its support. Close the gun housing, double-checking the wire placement to ensure nothing obstructs the closure. If necessary, adjust the tie wraps to allow the housing to close completely. Finally, screw everything back into place, ensuring there are no gaps around the housing. The screws are inserted into plastic, so be careful not to over-tighten them. Apply gentle pressure with your fingers to close the connection, ensuring that the screw doesn't bear all the force. Personally, I use just 2 fingers to tighten them lightly. You only need to make the screw snug without forcing it. The screw where you can apply a bit more effort is the one going into metal. Reinsert your insert on the other side, then insert the screw into place. For the shrink tube, I always wait until the end before heating it. I test the water first because if you haven't applied enough Teflon tape or if you've loosened and retightened the connection, you may need to add more. If there's a leak, you won't need to undo the shrink tube. You just need to remove the gun, reapply the Teflon tape, and reconnect the tubing. Once everything is properly secured, you can apply the shrink tube over the connection and heat it. At that point, your work is complete.